not everybody is equipped to or interested in engaging in high-level
engaging
discussion of abstract and creative ideas.
abstract, creative.
You hear this idea that everyone's creative. That's a lie. It's as straightforward as that. True
Straightforward.
creativity is very, very rare.
Rare.
And if you happen to be a creative person, or if you happen to be someone who's profoundly interested in
Profoundly.
ideas, you are in a pronounced minority.
Minority.
Just as you are if you happen to be extremely extroverted or extremely
Extroverted.
agreeable or extremely conscientious.
Agreeable. Conscientious.
These are minority issues, and what you
Issues.
do is you find like-minded people who are
Find.
capable of engaging that.
Capable.
Heavyweight weightlifters
Weightlifters.
compete with heavyweight
Compete.
weightlifters for a reason, and everyone thinks that's fine. And the same thing applies to
Applies.
intellectual and creative endeavors. So
Endeavors.
what you do is you try to find a community where that's
Community.
that's the nature of the community.
Nature.
And you likely have to find a relationship like that as well.
Relationship.
So I don't think so. I think what contributes to the siloing is
Contributes. Siloing.
the arrogance that goes along with it.
Arrogance. Goes along.
Because if you can be interested in ideas and you can be creative, well, that's the arrogance of the intellect, right? That's the thing the Catholic Church
Catholic Church.
warned about for centuries, is the
Warned. Centuries.
arrogance of the intellect. So because if you're wise
Wise.
as well as smart, and there is no
Smart.
relationship between being smart and being wise. They are not the same thing. There's no quick pathway from smart to wise. And many of the people who I've known who were very wise some of them were intellectually impaired and were still wise, So it's the arrogance that brings up the block.
Brings up. Block.
And I see this, for example, happening
Happening.
in the United States in particular, because the last time I went down there, for example, I had friends down there, and some of those friends are very, very smart people, and some of them were talking about the Trump voters. And they were talking about the Trump voters with contempt.
Contempt.
And I thought, you better watch that, because that's 50% of the damn population.
Population.
And it might be convenient to think that
Convenient.
they're stupid and beneath you.
Beneath.
But it's not conducive to a civil state.
Conducive. Civil.
And there's no evidence that it's true.
Evidence.
Because there isn't a straight
Straight line.
line between intelligent and wise. And so I think that if your character is
Character.
developed and you're intelligent,
Developed.
you can have your siloed creative community, but you develop enough wisdom so that you can see all the things that people can do that are of high ethical utility.
Ethical. Utility.
That are outside the intellectual domain. And I think that's why in the New Testament, I think that's why Christ is a carpenter.
Christ. Carpenter.
Right? Because, well, first of all, a carpenter is one of those jobs that when you're dishonest, it manifests
dishonest, dishonest, manifests, manifests,
itself immediately
immediately, immediately,
because what you build falls down.
build, build, falls down, falls down,
And so if you're an honest carpenter, you build a good house. So that there's a nice metaphor there.
metaphor, metaphor,
But it's also a warning in some sense
sense, sense,
against the equation of intellectual
equation, equation,
brilliance with moral superiority.
brilliance, brilliance, moral, moral, superiority, superiority,
And so if the intellects would drop their moral superiority, and fat chance there is of that,
fat chance, fat chance,
then the divide between the working
divide, divide,
class, say, and the elite would resolve.
elite, elite, resolve, resolve,
And there's every reason to have respect
respect, respect,
for decent working class people.
working class, decent, decent,
I mean, it's on their labor as
labor, labor,
the left-wingers at least hypothetically
hypothetically, hypothetically,
agree that the entire edifice of the culture is resting.
edifice, edifice, culture, culture,
So you can have your cake and eat it too, but you have to not assume that
assume, assume,
your niche makes you superior.
Nietzsche, Nietzsche,
And it's very difficult
difficult, difficult,
for smart people, especially smart. There's this scene in Nietzsche's, it's
scene, scene,
Thus Spake Zarathustra, where Zarathustra, the prophet, comes down
prophet, prophet,
from the mountain and he comes into a public square.
public square, public square,
And there's this crowd around this
crowd, crowd,
little midget who's only about this
midget, midget,
high, who has a gigantic ear. And everyone is marveling at him. Well,
marveling, marveling,
that's what the modern intellect is like. It's a midget with a giant, well, mouth generally, not an ear. And the being is underdeveloped, but
underdeveloped, underdeveloped,
the intellect is hyper-activated.
hyperactivated, hyperactivated,
And it makes the person extraordinarily unbalanced.
unbalanced, unbalanced,
And it's partly because they can't compete outside the intellectual realm.
realm, realm,
And that makes them very bitter because
bitter, bitter,
they tend to think, well, God, I'm
10, 10,
so smart, everything should just come to me. It's like, sorry, that's not how the world works. And it also, that attitude is immediately evident
attitude, attitude, evident, evident,
to people that they're talking to when they talk in the manner that they talk,
manner, manner,
if they are arrogant intellectuals of that sort.
sort, sort,
You see that in The Simpsons did a good job of that with Comic Book Guy, right? I mean, he completely useless
useless, useless,
in every possible dimension,
dimension, dimension,
with an IQ of about 160. And it's very annoying to people who have
annoying, annoying,
an IQ of 160 that they can also be completely useless. But it happens a lot. So